What up, YouTube? How's it going? How's it going? I need to make sure I muted y'all. There we go. Good. All right. So yeah, talking about strangle management. Strangle management. That little red put us back into negative, but I'm only negative like 1 or 2% on these at the moment. So that's why I'm eager to get out of these calls here. I'm eager to get out of these calls. So. Yeah, y'all are crazy. All right, Bookmap does have liquidity posted higher and lower. 38.10 was just put on. They've got 38.50, 38.40, and so on and so forth. What did I pay for the calls? I paid $12.80 for the calls. So I am looking to get out as high as I can, obviously. Nice, Henry Lane. Trust nothing, give nothing back, and let's see what happens. We've got 15 seconds until the market opens here. Let's see what's going on here. I have no prediction for today. I have no bias. If we go to 38.50, 30.75, cool. 38.75, I'll play it up. If we go down, cool too. I'm good to go. First things first, though, get out of these calls. There is the market open right there. We got 38.33, a big green candle to start the day off. I'm up 6% on this strangle. Love to see it. I'm going to go ahead and take that and get out. And get out. Just give me a second here if I can get out of this position. Big green candle to start the day off. I'm up 10% on that position. Love to see it. I just filled the calls there at $25.30, and I still have the puts. So I'm out of the calls. There we go. Now is see if I can get some value out of the puts. Close just the calls at 25. Bam. All right, cool. So we got a big top wick here on that. So that was good. Bouncing off R1. R1 is considerable. R1 is considerable, so be careful right there. Be careful right there. That was a nice 10% win on the strangle. If I can get any more value out of these puts, it would really help that. So I'll post the final price of the strangle once I close out the puts. I've closed out the calls, just holding the puts. So let's see what happens. We've got 38.32 here on ES. Little flipping back to red, green, red, green. I'm not really going to worry about the puts at the moment. Just kind of let those do their things. They're hanging out at the bottom right now. We have got... all I need is $1 on the puts to break even, so we'll see what happens. 38.35. I'm going to bring up SPX, and I'm going to bring up 38.40 calls for today. Let this hang out. Bookmap has got 38.40, which we're currently at. We're just over R1 at the moment. Climbing up here. We have got Amazon is selling off, so careful there. Microsoft is spiking. Apple's pretty much flat, but Amazon is taking a beating at the moment. From their open, they're down $2.50. Oh, sorry. Yeah, thanks. I'll have to close that. Thank you. Thank you. Big green candles, 38.37. Finally breaking up through R1. Love to see it. Love to see it. Yeah, XLE, again, with that stuff. So looking around, the bonds are down to 113. The 10-year yields are 3.095. Looking at the Big 10, Apple's got a big green. Microsoft is a really big green. Amazon's got a really, really big red. Google's spiking, Tesla, all of tech is spiking except for Amazon. That's interesting. Even Facebook. So everything is very, very green except for Amazon. So I didn't see any news there, so we'll see. Big green candle on SPY, 382, and then ES is now 38.43 and spiking even more. Holy smokeroni. Holy smokeroni. Strangle's up 50%. Well done. Well done. Nicely done. So, let's see what happens here on the first couple of candles. How are you down on the strangles? You must have done something wrong if you're down on this strangle. This is a very profitable strangle. I closed early and I still got 12%. So let's see. Bounce off of R1. Nicely done, Free Mind Conspiracy. So let's see what happens here on this red candle, 38.42. We've got the NASDAQ is big spiking. We've got the VIX finally coming off on a big red candle. Now, this is very bullish to me. This is very bullish. The fact that we spiked up 50 points off lows, we never even sold off, and now we have a green candle here. We could be facing a trend up day. It very well could be facing a trend up day. So I'm going to give this a few more potatoes, and I'm going to cut the puts loose, get whatever value out of I can out of here. Inflation numbers come out at 10 a.m. Nice. Yeah, you remember the prior strangles I've taken in weeks past have been 30 wide, which means I'll take a call that's 30 out and a put that's 30 out. But today I only did 20 because I wasn't entirely sure we're going to get a bigger move. We haven't been in a chop phase, and I'm accounting for that, and it paid off very well. So awesome, awesome stuff. Great to start the day out with some green. All right, we got 38.43 on that nice big green candle. Just paid for your gas for the week. Nicely done. Nicely done. Yeah, I think I agree with you, Mohammed. This is starting to look like a trend up day. Very, very green action here. Not selling off here. Not to mention it is the Russell rebalancing. Climb it up. Climb it up. Entire account's up 10%. Nicely done. Nicely done. I don't mean the second candle. I mean the fact that this is the price action that we got. The fact that the VIX is dropping aggressively here. We never sold off any of this pre-market stuff. This has the setup of a trend up day. So I'm going to go ahead and close the puts here. I can get $2 for them at the moment, so which would be fantastic. Fantastic. 100% SPY calls, 153 on Apple calls. Nicely done. Nicely done. We got the June calls. XLE's big red. Let's take a look. XLE does have a big red here after yesterday's smoke fest. Be careful with that. XLF has got a big green with a couple of red. And XLV is starting to pound over just a little bit. Where'd my XLK go? There it is. So XLV has got some weight to it. A little bit of healthcare is coming on down. XLK is big spiking. SPY is still at 382. Made $3 on your strangle. There you go. There you go. So looking at the book map, we've got a lot of liquidity at 38.50, and they actually just put some on at 38.05 too, right at the open. So, but definitely a lot of liquidity at 38.50 and 38.55. So I'll give this a few more potatoes here, and I'm going to look at closing out the put side of things. Just to get some value out of them, just to bolster my position here. XLE is tanking. Good stuff again on XLE, so we'll see. Yeah. If we get 38.50, could today be part one of your August puts? No, potentially. If we take out 38.50, I would expect this to be. Does have a setup for a trend update. So far, that's what I'm looking at. I'm not saying it's going to be, but it's set up as one. So I'm going to be. If I do take a position like that, I'll start building into it at the end of the day. The end of the day. So yeah. A little bit of red here, a little bit of red here. I've got $2.20 on the puts, 230 coming on back down, looking good, looking good. Get a few couple of cents out of here. All right, there's 230, there's 240. Can I get $3? Hold on, come on down. Let's see it. Let's see it. There's 250. All right, there's 250. I think I'm pretty much coming down to the LRS. I'm going to go ahead and take them here. That's all I can ask for. 250 on that with a 50-point gap up. I like it. So, bam. Close them, 250. So close the puts at 250. Bada bing, bada boom. Like it. So that puts right at under $28 for the strangle. I think 27.80. I think it is. What is that? 25. So that puts 27.80. Yeah, which overall 5%, which I'll take it. It's green. It's money. It's money. 24% on your strangle, double glad. Nicely done. I closed the calls right at the open here, so nice. You have sound. Good stuff. All right, so taking a look around here, a little bit of red across the board. Microsoft is still very green. VIX, what is VIX doing? VIX is still down at 28, new low right there. So they are still dropping. Lowest, it's coming back to mid-June levels. We'll see if we can continue that downside. UNH is coming off. Man, they are coming off. I wonder why. I wonder why. Looking at the book map for the NASDAQ here. NASDAQ has got a lot of liquidity everywhere, but a very large node being put on at 12,000, which is 100 points up on the NASDAQ. Still have 38.50 here on ES and then 38.55. Nice, Dashmo. 24%. Good stuff. $10% on the strangle. Nice, Damien. Well done, well done, well done. Yeah, let's take a look at Apple. There's Apple book map right here. So we've got on Apple, 142 is the major node on Apple. So they got a little upside in store for them, it looks like, and then 143. But the biggest one, by far, by a factor of 6, is at 142 on Apple. If ES does come up and breach 38.50, yeah, I think we could start to see that action, that upwards action. We have to be ready for it. Big green candles off the 8 EMA, and a little Lee Rat special right there. Nice, AJ. Ah, okay. Holy crap, what just happened? Look at that. That's a massive green candle. That is a move and a half right there. Wow. Yeah, that's a ton of volume. Big pop here. Looking at 38.45 calls at the moment, which are at the money. I might go a little bit more aggressive on those, but that's a heck of a move right there. Dang. They just sucked up all that 38.50 like that, like a vacuum cleaner. Look at this. Boom. Gone. Is today the Bulls' revenge. The Bulls' revenge for the past couple of weeks. All right, looking at where are we at? I'm going to go 38.60s. 38.60 calls, which are 15 points up. They're going for $23 at the moment. June 24th. Nope, those are the call. They're puts. So puts are going for $10.30. I thought that sounded a little expensive. Meta's going up there. XLF is holding. All of tech is absolutely beast mode. Amazon, complete reversal. They sold off, and now they are just absolutely raging. Apple might go to 142 there. See what happens with Apple. Tesla hit 750. Call me a jabroni. Sold my calls at the bottom. All right. All right. So watch out for 38.55, and we're still holding. We absorbed 38.50, and we're still holding this level. Those are two major green candles on the day, and we're still going up there. Bada boom, bada bing. Yeah, 5-year inflation expectations coming in 1 hour. VIX is kind of hanging out 28.51. Am I seeing a downward slope on Apple from April? I mean, yeah, I'm seeing a downward slope on everything from April 1st. I mean, the market's been a very, very strong downtrend since April 1st. But right now, today, things are looking very bullish at the moment. Yep. The 8th days. So today, I am expecting a bit of a move. Honestly, my bias was to the downside. I was thinking downside today. I played a neutral position because, honestly, I don't trust this market anyway. But today we're thinking about the first tranche of long-dated puts. It depends, Hinterlane. It depends. If we start getting up 3,900, I'll start building into that longer position. 4,000 puts it to 10% from last week's lows. So, and that's usually about where we kind of start fizzling out and then chopping. So things are very, very green at the moment. Very green. We've got 38.55 just doubled in size, and we got 38.60 above us. I'm looking at all the stuff here. NASDAQ is straight up. We have got Amazon is straight up after a very heavy open. XLF is starting to climb here as well. So a lot of stuff is starting to definitely come in here. Apple's 140.8. I might actually look at some calls on Apple up to 142 the way their liquidity looks. Microsoft is kind of coming down here just a touch. So we'll see. 38.52. We did eat through R1. R3 is the next considerable level right here. And if you see this on R3, you'll see we came right up to it. We were bouncing off R1 all through pre-market, and R3 is a next large level. Yeah, so 38.55 on bookmap here. Rejecting 38. Yeah, so just under that. Didn't quite get up there. So Apple's rounding over. Microsoft's rounding over. Financials are still climbing, and Amazon has got a little top wick there. So we'll see how we hold out here. No additional plays at the moment. How do I read this right now? So far, it looks bullish. We do have some top wicks at the moment, but things are still straight up. The fact that we didn't get any sell-offs in pre-market is one thing. We're still holding this flag just under the 80 MA. So far, things are bullish until I start to see some strong top wicks come in. Even on the 15-minute right now is a neutral candle. So far, things are bullish. And go to the 30-minute, which we haven't put on a full 30-minute candle yet, but that looks bullish. So I mean, right now, I'm looking still up. Will R3 be resistance? R3 is a very strong resistance. Above that, the next strong resistance is R6, which obviously I haven't posted R6 yet, but if we need it, I'll post it. So yeah, if we do breach R3, and which is approximately which is bookmap is posted at 38.55, and absorb that, we'll probably end up going 38.70 or somewhere in that realm. Nice, Dashimo. Oh, big green candle. All right, that is gone. So bookmap just ate up that level. If you're watching on the YouTube, you'll see, I mean, that just completely ate through that level and still holding. So looking to see some movement here on 38.54 and climbing. Volume is doing the normal thing in the morning, dropping off. Oh, I appreciate that context. Glad to have you. Glad to have you. All right. 38.56 and climbing. I'm going to go back to Apple. I'm going to zero in on this one for a little bit here. Man, XLF is screaming now. XLF is going. So now that tech is going and financial sectors are going, if NASDAQ is spiking up here, so we could get a good rally. There's R3 is gone. 38.60 is next. Man, is 38.95 on deck today. Oof. Oof. Strangle did well. Heck yeah, they did lamp. Nicely done. Wish I would have held mine longer. So what I sold at 25.30 is now at 40 bucks. So that would have been an amazing, amazing win. That would have been a 100% win on that strangle almost. Another couple of bucks, that'd be 100%. Yep. So 38.58 and climbing. That's a big green here. So with XLF looking like this, watch Apple come along here as well. Looking very, very good at the moment. Nice. Yeah. Yeah. Well done. So tier 2, here's that first level. Here's that first level. VIX is still dropping 28.39. They just put on 38.70 above us. So right here is when we start building a play. We're starting to shake out the first 30 minutes of the day. I'm definitely looking at Apple calls up to 142. Apple is the only one of tech that hasn't really done anything. They had one good green candle and they chopped. Everything else is screaming. There's a ton of liquidity at Apple 142. I think that one might be a good play. A call up to 142, a June 24th 142 call could pay some good dividends, especially considering they're only 25 cents at the moment. All of tech is going crazy except for Apple. We got 38.70, we got 38.90 on all around. Amazon, they just ate through a large level at 114. They've got 115 as a huge level on Amazon. I'll play some long-term calls or options when the situation calls for it, and I need some high-confidence stuff. And I usually do about once every quarter, twice a quarter. Just because I've been doing so well on day trades, I only take a swing trade, a long-term trade, if the setup really calls for it. And if we go back up to 4,000, it'll call for it. Interesting that Apple's not moving. So 140 on Apple. Microsoft is 265. Keep an eye on here. Amazon very strong, very strong. VIX still holding 28 and still bottom wick green candle here, eating up against this level. Let's see if we can punch through and go. If Apple really joins this with everything else, we'll really see a pop. Everything else is screaming. XLF is even going crazy. Financial sectors are screaming. That's it. So I'm looking at Apple because that's the biggest holding of SPY, and it's not moving. Everything else is up. How am I playing the Russell rebalancing today? I'm going to look for volatility. And when you have that much volume coming in and out, obviously Russell is different. The last time we had the S&P rebalancing back in March, it was a phenomenal amount of movement. I think we had 130-point data that day, but that's the S&P rebalance. That's not the Russell. So I would say some limited effect. I would look to see if we get upside. Obviously, this is very bullish. And I'll be looking for bounces off the 8 EMA here for maybe a potential entry on some calls. We are coming up on the first half hour of the day. And then we've got looking for some movement here. Right now, my eyes are focused on Apple because I want to see Apple move along with everything else. VIX is still dropping. Still red action here. I got some red on the NASDAQ. Volume is high. Yep, it's Friday. I know there's a lot of people saying that the Russell rebalancing can throw a lot of crazy volatility and volume into today's market. So far, we are seeing that. How do you deal with the frustration of not holding position long enough? I forget about it. I mean, that just now I missed out on I closed my strangle for 5% when I could have had 100%. So it is what it is. It is what it is. There's no point in fretting about it. You just got to move forward. So financials very strong, straight up on XLF. Microsoft is coming off here, maybe a little profit taking. Amazon, Apple, all of them kind of rounding over. First rejection right up here. So the first real rejection of this level. Nice red action across the board on Apple, Amazon. That 38.05 has been getting bigger. They put that on right at the open. They've got liquidity higher too. They're building in that 38.90 level. So I'll be looking for Trader J's in a put. That's funny. That's funny. We finally get a bullish day and he takes a put. That's cracking me up. Tesla book map. Yeah, let's take a look. So Tesla has most of it at 750. They put on just a little bit at 710. And yeah, so yeah. Close the call side. Very stress-free play. Nicely done, Mr. Hana. Nicely done. Yeah, that's what it does look like, ladder. Apple is the only one that's not really responding bullish today. So that very well could be. Coming down to the 8 right now, 38.54. Nice chip. Well done. Well done. Home sales in 2 minutes. Home sales in 2 minutes. 1 minute now. How do the SPY and EX track each other with bookmap profiles? ES is the big dog. SPY is going to track the ES. So that's why I monitor ES. That's why I bookmap ES, because that is what's going to get you the most accurate data and levels. They reduced greatly the 3860. 3855 is gone. And there's nothing on the bookmap at all except for 3805 or 3895. There's a little bit of 3870. So. Whoa, big green candle. So that must be the home data. Big green candle. Holy smokes. Wow. Wow. That's a substantial green candle. Careful, though. It's data driven, so it can come back down. Careful, careful, careful. Wow. VIX has got a... Whoa. What the crap? All right. Be very cautious of this. The VIX just went crazy. Huge green candle on the VIX. Wow. Crazy action. The VIX just spiked aggressively to 29.72, and there's a huge green candle right now. Wow. That is substantial. Wow. Look at this action. Look at this action. Nice, Mariah. That's awesome. Man. So volatility just went up crazy. Nice SM, 38.73, and climbing aggressively. Now even Apple's joining on board here. Very, very green candles here and going up. $38.72. Yeah, so VIX is 29.72 on a massive green candle. That's one of the bigger green candles I've seen on the VIX in a long time, and we are skyrocketing. Skyrocketing. 38.76 now. June 24th. Wow. Wow. That's insane. 38.77, 38.55. That is huge. I don't even want to look at my... Wow. $60 is my SPX call from yesterday. Wow. All right. So I'm looking at another play here. I'm scalping a couple of things, but I got lucky on that one. But I'm going to look at chart to see a jump into position for the day. So things are looking very bullish here. It's substantial green candles, substantial volume. And we're coming up on 3,900 already. NASDAQ is screaming. VIX is 29.72. And yeah, 141.31 on Apple. And absolutely going up. Absolutely going up. I jumped in Apple calls at, what was my fill? 31 cents. They're already up to 44 cents. 100% on Apple already. Nice. Nice. 103% on a Portland. Nice, Scrub Lord. Awesome stuff. So that was, so yeah, 141.1 on Apple. See, they know. They knew. Bookmap never freaking lies, man. When you've got a substantial order, 142 on Apple, they never lie. It's insane. That happened so quick. That's insane. Oh, nice, SMG. Well done. Also, a lot of people took them Apple calls. Well done. Very cool. Very cool. Where are we? Where are we? Man, I got so much clicking. R6 is 38706. 38706. R6 38706. We'll see how this holds. The old trusty OM. Oh, nice. Yeah. Well done. Man, that was 100% gain on some Apple. Awesome stuff, y'all. Awesome stuff. Yeah, so right now the VIX is frozen for me. It's not working. It's frozen. So the VIX right now, at least on TradingView, the VIX is frozen. It's literally broken. It's been the same number. So it spiked it. Oh wait, now it dropped again. So it came back down to 28.12. So the VIX came on back down. It's still broken though, so don't pay too much attention to it. So, would you still take an Apple call? I still think Apple's going to continue to climb here with this data. Yeah. Green candles all around. Green candles all around. So I'm still holding my Apple runners. Apple climbs with home. Everything's climbing with home sales. Everything. So. Looking around, looking around, looking around. Trying to get around here. Yeah, so there, the VIX is starting to move back down here, but still, tread lightly with the VIX at the moment. It's definitely wonky. So a crap ton of volatility out of the market, and it broke the VIX. So, all right, we've got 141.28 on Apple here. Since we're in active Apple positions, I want to show y'all the book map. 142. What they do with that liquidity? See, 142 is the largest. I mean by a factor of 6. It is crazy amount of liquidity. So I do think we're going to go to 140 on the VIX. I'm sorry, on Apple. Things are looking great for this position. I got in even a late entry, and I'm still up on them heavily. 143 is up above that if they start screaming. If we can have a nice 3% day on here, this might not a nice play. So yeah, the conversion value is in the market analysis. So just do that conversion value and be good to go. One, no, you don't. No, you wouldn't, Chris. No, you wouldn't. At least I wouldn't. Yeah, you got it. When you're looking at these stuff that's very far away, you have to give more weight to the closer stuff, and then we'll go to the longer stuff. Yeah, yeah. I did say when I jumped on Apple. Right when, as fast as I could. It was right before that. What had happened is that we had a big green candle on the ES, and Apple had not started moving quite yet. And Apple was down. I was watching the premiums. They were down to like 20 cents, 19 cents, and I was able to jump into 31, and then they immediately spiked to like 70. So it was here. Still holding though. Nice technique. Everything is still holding. I'm watching around. Financials are going crazy. They're 31.96 on green. Microsoft is green as well. VIX is red. I'm looking for 142 on Apple, and they're continuing to climb. Nasdaq has got pretty much no liquidity on Bookmap, which is pretty much the norm for them. They don't usually have a lot of large levels. 38.75 is quite large on Bookmap. In fact, on ES, let's take a look here. I don't think JPOW talks today, right? He doesn't talk today, correct? Not that I saw. Man, I wish I would have held that that strangle. So, yeah, watch for the break here after that next consolidation. That's 38.88 on ES. We're already going up to 3,900 and climbing. VIX is still pinned. Yeah, VIX isn't moving. VIX isn't moving. Yeah, very large volume today. Very large, very large price action. This is a very bullish day, so I'm cautioning you against playing puts. Don't play puts today until puts right now are very, very much counter trend. So don't play puts unless things drastically change around the entire market. If you start to see selling come in, then do it. But until then, it's a counter trend play. Yeah, yesterday I know he talked, but today I didn't see anything. So we're still holding. We're not even touching the 8. Crap ton of liquidity. 38.90 and above, and continuing to go. Continuing to go. With all the political stuff around guns, have you considered any options in that sector? No, I used to play those plays. Like every time something happened, I used to go buy up all the gun stocks, but they didn't move all that much. It was just, you know. Do I have an ideal re-entry on calls? The 8 EMA. If we can get down to the 8, I'll look at throwing down a position. But right now, it's like it's hard to judge. It's hard to judge. Well, this is the hard part about trading trends. This is the hard part, is that you don't know when to enter because it just keeps on going up. So what you do is you pick a point and you say, I'm not going to enter unless we touch that. And then if you're wrong, then you wait for the next consolidation and you pick a point then. So home sales still going up. This means the interest rates hikes did not help. This means Fed will be more aggressive and the market's still going up. Well, you're not wrong, Mr. Hanna. The problem is that there are arguments for both sides of that aisle. There are arguments like, hey, that's bullish, hey, that's bearish, and that's why it's like data. The data, you have to realize the market is not driven by data. It's driven by the market's interpretation of the data. So it's hard. That's why it's hard to really play that kind of stuff. Bullish is bearish, bearish is bullish, news is good, news is bad. So I just play what comes. I play what comes. And a lot of people are saying it's still the hedge funds buying up these properties. It's still big money buying up properties. It's not the retailer. You know, they're saying institutions and hedge funds bought every single. What caused this whole dilemma is that everything under 600,000, any home under 600,000, bought up by big money, by hedge funds, by BlackRock, by institutions. So retail, like me or you, the consumer, we can't buy that stuff. So now we're scrambling to buy the 600 to like 1.2 million in that range, which there's still not very much of it left. And the people in that range don't really want to sell because they can't afford the crap that's even higher than that. So that's what's caused the supply issue. It's not like everyone finally decided to buy a home in 2021 and caused a huge run on supply. It was the big money. And they knew what was coming, and they parked their money in the one thing that was very safe: real estate. It shouldn't be allowed, but it is. I mean, it is, unfortunately. All right, so we're hanging out here at 380, 3882. I mean, when's the last time you've seen a home for sale under 400 grand that wasn't like a very, very small home? They bought it all up. All right, so we're coming on down here a little bit. We do have a large amount of liquidity at 38.75, an overwhelmingly a large amount of liquidity at 38.75 on ES. NASDAQ is kind of coming off here as well. XLE is, why do I have XLE up there? I'm looking at my book map. 142 there. Looking at Microsoft. Microsoft has got 265.69. So a little bit of profit taking here after all that action. We got 38.75 is huge on ES. Beneath that, we've got nothing until 38.05. So they don't have any liquidity on below us. All of it's up above except for this 38.75 level. North Dakota. Yeah. Yeah, I could relate. That's why they call Minot Air Force Base up there is basically the Arctic. Apple does still have 142. They still do have 142. So last night, me and Mrs. OM fired up the Uni pizza grill last night, pizza grill oven. One of the best purchases I've ever made, if not the best purchase I've ever made. Highly recommend an Uni if you haven't already got one. I think she posted them. You post that picture? Where'd you post them? And the food channel. Yeah, she posted in the food channel. We got the multi, so you could do gas or you can do wood. Last night we cooked it from wood. We cooked wood. So another green can on ES still around here. I still think we're going up. I bought it from the website. It was a disaster. What was your experience with it? You could tell us in the general if you want. I'd like to hear your experience. Too hot. Ooh. For Apple, I bought it in 22, sold at 40. Nice. Nicely done, Technic. 3K now. Do I report to the officer in charge, Mrs. O.M. daily with the P&L? Sometimes, yeah. New York style or Neapolitan, yeah. But either way, those are my favorites, so that's all I need. So 38.75, the lowest we got there was, 38.78. There's a substantial amount of liquidity at 38.75. Substantial. Is this normal action or, this is not normal price action. This is a very strong bullish day. And then the numbers exacerbated that. So, very, very strong from 38.24 and 38.88. Oh, Minnesota. Nice. Nice, Jack. Well done. Red Baron for the win. How much did IV yesterday help you figure out where to place a strike on the strangle? It was 30 strike. Well, one of the reasons I did take that strangle is because of IV. The IV was very, very small, or very, very short. Holy crap. Low, very low, and the premiums were very cheap. I mean, yesterday I was looking at 1DTs, which was today's. I was looking at premiums, and they were at the money positions. They were like $21 for at the money calls for the next day, which is very cheap. I mean, and I went $20 outside the money, and they were $11. I was like, man, that's a shoot. That's a chip shot. So I decided to do 20 because we are in a kind of a choppy consolidation phase, and I was accounting for that. The consolidation phase that we've been doing the past week and a half. If we once we broke out, the past couple of weeks I've been doing a 30 wide. That's because I was expecting a larger move. But with the 20 wide allows me to account for a little less movement, a little less chop, or a little more chop, a little less movement, and do that. And when I woke up and I saw that 38.30, we were currently at 38.30, I was a little sketch because I know the move usually does sell off into the open. We do get that trade to flat, and I thought it was going to smoke the position. That's why I shorted NASDAQ. I shorted NASDAQ at like 850, something like that, to protect against that downside. Ended up closing the position break even when we did go back up, which is great. That's what I want. So I took the 20 because I was accounting for less movement. And obviously this actually paid out. If you held that strangle till now, you would be up over 100%, well over 100%, almost 200%. So should we be concerned about the top wick? Right now, we're just consolidating. In fact, look at different stuff. 3-minute, 5-minute. Look, this is a flag at the moment. If we start breaking down, it'll look like, but right now this looks like a bull flag. This is the 5-minute chart. Going to the 15, very strong green. 30-minute, strong top, or the strong candle right there with a small top wick, but that's small enough where I'm not too worried about it at the moment. So right now, we're doing that. Looking at the book map, we still have 38.75, and everything else above is 3900. If we pop up through here, looking for a pop through 3900. We'll see. We will see. Looking at XLE. Ooh, XLE made a recovery. Nice. So XLK is way up there. V had made a huge recovery. Yeah, you're welcome. So XLV and E both made a recovery. So all the X sectors are now bullish on the day. XLE broke green after being down substantially, and even real estate popping up. So real estate with a heck of a run from 38 to 38.65. Okay. All right, big strong bounce there on ES, going back up to 38.87. It's because XLE said XLE was in bear. Kramer said XLE was in bear territory. 2 for 3, the 4% account gain. Nicely done, Brad. Nicely done. Well done. Yeah, Bob, it did cook in 60 seconds, literally. You put it in, you give it 20 seconds, you rotate it, you give it 20 seconds, you rotate it, you give it another 20 seconds. So literally the pizza was only in there for a minute, minute and a half. I had it, I got the thermometer, the laser thermometer, had it at 950 degrees on the stone. That's what we didn't account for. Burned the first one badly. Ooh. How did it not catch on fire? Those pizzas don't. They don't. That's how they cook. You're supposed to cook those at very, very high temps for a very short amount of time. So it makes it crispy, but soft on the inside. It's good stuff. All right, so we got a little bit of flag kind of hanging out right here. We've got 38.88 on ES. New high of the day. We just popped a new high of the day. Didn't even get down to the 8 at the moment. All right, so R6 is considerable. 387.06, and we're on it right now. So that's the last level I've calculated for the day. I can calculate more if need be, and that's a significant level, and we just blew right through it. We blew through 1, 3, and 6. We checked up on all 3 of them, but continuing on going. Continue on up. So, cray. NASDAQ has a larger level of 12,100. ES has 38.90, which we're just kind of figuring out at the moment, and then 38.75. Still going up though. Things do still look bullish for now. Would I consider buying a strong resistance levels? Yeah. So we're right here at one. We just fell back under at 38670, 38706. I'm looking for a high confidence setup here. So if we could do this, does look like a leg up here, but we'll see. Amazon's got the little flagging here. Apple's flagging. Everything's to the side here. I don't see any downturns. Even XLF is absolutely beast mode. The entire market is up. Meta's up 6%. All of tech is up at least 1.9 or higher. Looking around there. VIX is down to 27, back under 27. So just careful. SPX, I'm going to be looking at 38.90 calls. June 24, 38.90s. They're currently trading for under $10 or $9.30 right now. Implied volatility is 33% on them. The deltas are 41, which is kind of in my wheelhouse. Anywhere between 35, 38, and 40 is where I want to be hanging out in terms of delta. Amazon's got a little coming on down here. Watch out for 38.75 again on ES. That is a large level, and we are coming off here. If ES gets 38.75, will that be a good entry for calls? That would be. Not to mention, it is right now the 8 EMA is currently where we currently are. 38.81 SPY is at R5 as well. So let's see if we bounce off the 8. If we come through here, 38.75 would be the next target. Very large amount of liquidity here. We've got an hour until UK closes. Yesterday it resulted in a sell-off. Yesterday we sold off on the UK, and then we bounced and went to new highs, which was like a 60-point rally. Apple's 142 interest is growing. I'm going to be looking for a re-entry here if they come back down. So I'm looking for Apple to come down to, I don't know, 140 and a half if we can get down that far, and look for another re-entry because they're cheap calls. Can R5 be held? I don't know. We'll find out. Looking at Amazon as well. Amazon's got 113, 116. Large red candle there on Amazon. Or the bubble, I should say. Tesla just put on 737. June 24th. Meta just put on 168, way on down there. They're currently trading at 168.63 or 90. This weekend is our second Zoom call for the Tier 2 channel. We'll be talking about a lot of great stuff. By the way, if you are Tier 2 and you put what you want to hear down in the room so I can make sure I've got that ready for you on Sunday. I do have a couple of things that we'll be talking about, but if you want to add stuff, just let me know. 33%, nice OGZ. What do you think I want to put? I love it. I'm actually looking at calls right now. Play the trend. Play the trend. All right. Yeah, so one of the main things we're going to be talking about is scalping. That's one of I think that's one of the larger subject matters people want to hear about. So we'll talk more about that, and rightfully so. It's a great way to add a little bit of income throughout the day. They're not my main source, but it's a great way to add up a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here on the day. Especially if it's a choppy day and you can identify levels where they reject and bounce, you can throw down on some scalps. So we'll talk more about that, what I use, what I'm looking for. It's heavily based on price action, more so than any indicator. It's heavily based on the candles themselves. Premium skyrocketing. What do you mean? I got the VIX coming off here. These premiums are actually pretty cheap. What's a good IV to look for with day trades? Oh, man. I don't really pay attention to IV all that much on quick day trades unless it's egregiously high. So if it's talking about 75, 80, last week it was on FOMC was 150, which is freaking insane. I don't really pay too much attention to IV. I just kind of give it a quick glance. All right, we're good to go, and I trade. But I'm not choosing my strikes based on IV. Can you talk more about discipline challenges? We are implementing 1 week digital detox starting this Sunday. I think that's fantastic, although it's probably going to limit the way you trade, unless you could do it old school style with some paper. Yeah, so the discipline challenge, 60 days, and we talked about that in the podcast. A good way to change a habit or make a change to like better your life, whatever it is. There's a whole bunch of different ways to better your life. Whatever your goals are, is you have to change something for at least 60 days. Do it every single day. There's no off days. There is no, I'm not going to do it today because it's Sunday. So do it every day, whether it be going to the gym every day, eating, cutting out sugar. You're not going to do any sodas or Cokes or Pops, as the Yale people call them, for 60 days. Something small every day. And continue with it. Build that habit. And it just plays into success. If you can't do something for 60 days, then you're not really ever going to be successful. Do I cut carbs? No. Carbs are my friend, especially when I'm trying to put on mass and put on strength. Carbs are good. It all depends on your output, though. If you're not doing output, though, then extra carbs are going to obviously make you gain weight. But if you're doing stuff like HIIT training plus strength training, carbs are your friend. What you want to do is limit your sugar and limit your fat. No more than 30 grams of sugar a day. Keep the fat low. That is not fitness. That is not health advice, though. Do I think we're about to drop? I'm not sure yet. We are chopping up here at 38.82. We're up 2% on the day. Yeah, I'm watching them. I'm watching for an entry here. They are now priced at 13 cents, which is very cheap. Very cheap. So we will see here. Apple is now, they have a crap ton of liquidity at 142 here. So for Apple calls, I'm looking at June 24th Apple 142 calls, and they're now I mean, they're dirt cheap. They're 14 cents at the moment. So. $800%. Nice, Neo. Any chance I could do a video on the technical aspects of setting a book map, reading it, and interpreting? I could do that. I could do that. They do have. I will tell you, they do have a lot of great videos that they've done. That's what's kind of the reason I haven't done too much on Bookmap, because they have all that stuff. But obviously, I would like to do a video on how I use it and how I implement it into my system, just so we can give you something a little bit different to watch. What was the name of the oven that I got? It was the Uni, OONI, the Uni oven. I actually think I'm about to take an entry on Apple. It is starting to leg here at 140. Everything else is kind of hanging out at the moment here. I've got no positions at the moment. We're hanging on to the 8 at the moment after that very, very large green candle. What's the conversion price from SPX to SPY? I think right now it's 14.18. 14.18. We'll see, though. Everything is rounding over, including Apple. So Microsoft is coming back down. Apple is. Amazon is. NQ is. So VIX isn't really moving. 27.7. It kind of dropped off there. But, yeah, it's not moving too much either. Nope, haven't entered yet. I'm looking for an entry, Steve. 38.79.25. Do you think gas prices will get out? I mean, yeah, eventually, yeah. Eventually. There's a nice little red there on ES. We have got 38.75 here. It still is probably looking to be transacted. $145 calls at a cent. Hey, that's on up there, though. That's on up there. Apple's incredibly weak compared to the other stocks. Just not a lot of movement there. Microsoft is coming on down. Amazon's very, very up there. Very much green with a little red. Look, you're looking for entries on calls or puts. Right now, I'm looking for calls. Right now, puts are counter trend. I'm not looking at puts at the moment. If we break down, we'll talk puts. But everything is definitely up. Not to mention this very large node at 38.75. So. Now, 38.90s are good. I'd stick with 38.90s. They're $10 out. They're very, very cheap. All the premiums are dirt cheap right now. Yeah. Yep. 710, 750. Dirt cheap. I think we have data coming out here in a couple minutes, don't we? Is that because VIX is lower? There's a lot of reasons, man. Right now, VIX is still 27, 28. It's still very high. One of the reasons I took that strangle yesterday is because premiums are very low, very low. They're suspiciously low considering how high the VIX is. IV is very low. I think that strangle was a low risk play. So yes, and yeah, exactly. And the 38.75 is going to be my decision point to whether or not we are going to continue down and to start looking at puts, or is this thing going to bounce and we'll just bounce back up to highs on a call. Was planning to do a 0 DT strangle on the SPY just before housing data, but didn't because I missed a few trades this morning. Made a few bad entries. What is a good way to boost your confidence besides making good trades? I mean, that's that hardest part. That's that managing your emotions. And the first thing you do is control what you can control, and that is your position size. That's your stops. If you want to take a trade, and it's kind of like you have that little hang up there, do a quick reanalysis. Go back and double check everything. Make sure you're not being emotional. Set a position with small position size, and then if things are going well, then you add more, and if things are going well, you add more. That way you can kind of hang out, and you can figure out what's going on. That'll get you from doing that. That'll get you from missing trades or making bad entries and stuff. So yeah, I closed Apple like 30 minutes ago. Long time. Would you remain in a SPY call that's currently 25% in the red? That would be my last. That would be like, that's it. Like 25%, 30% is pretty much where I want to stop. Anything outside of that, I'm looking at, hey, I need to get out of this position or figure out what's going on. On a 0 DT position, it's very easy to get down into 30% negative. So that's pretty much like my limit on, hey man, this is going bad. We talked about this morning. Like, when I get into this situation where I'm holding a loss, like 9 times out of 10, that position is going to continue losing. It's not going to come back. Maybe 1 time, 2 times out of 10, it'll actually reverse and it'll end up green. Yay, that's great. But most of the time, you're going to be better off closing that position and move on. It's going to be that thing like, hey, I can close 30% now, or you can close for negative 80% later. So let's see. Bonds are getting destroyed. Getting destroyed. All right, so we just absorbed 38.75. Took it out big time. So R5 rounding over. We've got the 8 EMA coming down to R4 potentially. So XLF is holding up. All of tech is rounding over heavily. We've got Microsoft, we've got Amazon on down. Yep, all liquidity is now higher again. They do have a little bit below us they've added, but the big stuff is higher. But those 3,900 levels, 3890 is the only thing I'm really paying attention to, because those 3,900, there's usually always a larger level at the zeros. 3,900, 3,700, 3,800, all that stuff. There's usually always a large level there. So I'm not paying too much attention to that. I am paying attention, however, to the 3890s, which is on up there and it's got decent volume. Yeah, 38.75 was huge, and we blew right through it. We absorbed it, and now looks like we're bouncing off of it. I'm holding a 380.85 at 230, worth holding or cut here. Almost sold at 14. Well, right now, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on here. 38.75 is wiped. There's not really much liquidity to look at. Apple is considerably more bearish than the other tech stocks, and it really depends on how Amazon Apple is going to respond with tech. XLF, the financial sector, is very bullish. It's climbing aggressively, but from here, we'll see where we go. That one big green candle is the one thing separating us from 38.83 or 383 on SPY and 387. So otherwise, aside from that one big green candle, we've been chopping since the first 10 minutes of the day. When you open a position, what's your average position size? I don't really have a typical average. I would say anywhere between like a scalp of my position could be anywhere as low as 0.5% of my account to 0.2 or I'm sorry 2% or 3%. Longer term high confidence plays anywhere up to 8 to 10% of my account. So anywhere in there, but never over 10. Rarely under 1. Sometimes depends. Well, let's see what we can get. Let's take a look at some credit spreads. What can we get? $39.10s appear to be the closest. You can do a 30 wide at $39.10 for $1.22. So yeah, which is still 40 points up. No more shortable SPY shares according to Fidelity. I don't think I've ever seen that. Maybe in the Corona, which, dang. If that happens, I mean, you're susceptible to short squeezes, especially with this kind of action. Yeah, the bond yield spiking like this, that's going to throw some weight into tech. TLT is coming off aggressively, 112. Energy's up there. XLF may be primed for a short with the yields. No, never mind. I was looking at the wrong one. So the bonds are spiking, coming off here hard. So the financial sector is going to do well in a high. The bonds flourish in a high yield environment like that. That's money for them. If premiums are cheap, do you think it's a good idea to buy some weekly expiration calls? If you think we're going up, absolutely. Absolutely. Do I expect a reversal in SPY, maybe close the gap? I don't know, man. It's still holding up here. This was definitely a little 10-point sell-off, but it's still holding up. So what data do you use for Bookmap? I use Global Plus, and then I have the DX feed and the Rhythmic feed on Bookmap. Would a strangle a week out be good at this point? Are you assuming a long strangle? A long strangle. Oh, I don't know. I don't think we're going higher than 4,000, or at least very much higher, maybe 40,000, maybe 40.50 if we do go up. So if you can be profitable on a trade, depending on where you position yourself on the strangle with your strikes and your expiration, it could probably be a decent play. The problem is all the downside we've had in the past month and a half has been riddled with 8 to 10 days periods of chop. So I would hate for you to open that and get caught up in a week of chop and then your position gets destroyed, because obviously you're going to pay more because those are going to be higher price premiums. And that's the risk you run. That's not a play that I would necessarily trade. I only want to trade strangles at a very strategic point where I think there's about to be a larger breakout, which is why I took it yesterday, which was a perfect play. I closed on the first stupid candle of the day. Because I can't get it to work, Mike. That's why I have the rhythmic data. I can't get it to work. I've tried everything, so still can't get it to work. I've reinstalled. I've done everything I know to do. But I do love it though. The couple of days I used it, it was quite good. I forgot to open an SPY strangle on Marvin Hood. Just went to close it and it was up 56%. Look at that, Embry. Awesome stuff, man. See, look, more bounce here. We're still holding up. I just saw the alert about the future short on NASDAQ. How does it affect the profit to upside of the strangle? Well, I'm no longer in that position. I closed it out for break even. That was to protect downside in pre-market. So I opened that at the tip top of NASDAQ in pre-market when I thought there was going to be a move to flat because I was holding a strangle. Obviously, things were green. We were up to like 38.30 at the time in pre-market. I thought we were going to have a move back down to flat. So I put on a net, and I did not want that to happen. So I took the NASDAQ short to give me some profit if we did break back down to flat. And if we moved back down to flat, then the strangle would have been red, probably 20 or 30%. And I put a break-even stop on it, so if we went back up, and I was actually up a good amount on that short at one point, but it bounced back up because I don't care. It's a hedge. I don't care about making money on that trade. That's to protect me. So we went up, stopped out, break even. Off we go. When trading futures, do you trade the future itself or the option? I trade the future itself. Futures itself. Because I can't get it to work. Yeah, y'all keep asking the same question. Like I have the rhythmic data on Bookmap, so I can do the iceberg and stop, and I just can't get it to work at the moment. The rhythmic data, like I've got it on there, I can't get it to work. So until I can get that figured out, unfortunately, it's unusable to me. Amazon is about to fall through the 21, and we're at the 38.80 here on ES. We've got 38.75. Amazon's got a larger level at 113. It looks like we're just pinned. Am I going to swing it over anything over the weekend? No. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I've set up rhythmic feed. I've done all that. It worked for like 3 days and it stopped working. Yeah, so I'm not going to take anything over the weekend. I want to be able to, with this pop up to 38.80, and we've talked about this a little this week, that I was looking at possibly starting to build into my first batch of 3 with my long dated puts. So I'm looking at possibly starting to enter that position depending on how we go today. I most likely will wait till Monday here. If we start getting up to like 39.50, 4,000 level, and 4,000 puts us about 10% off of last week's low, that 36.50-ish area. So right about there, I'll be looking at possibly building in a position. I think it's a little early at the moment. I know I said I was going to be looking at 38.50, but this is a lot of bull action. Things are still, for the moment, pointing to the upside here as we are kind of just consolidating at 38.80. I think 3900 could be on deck today. So I might be looking at possibly 3900, 3950 to start taking the first batch of that order. And that'll be approximately late July, early August. I'll be taking that position. So we'll see. The last one I was able to get about 500 points on ES on that. So, and we all know what that yielded, that about 1700%. I'm not going to be looking for 1700% because when you go looking for that kind of stuff, you usually make stupid mistakes. So I'll just try to make a high quality setup, and if it works out, it works out. What's the expiration of long puts? Yeah, so yeah. I'll let the stream catch up for a couple of seconds. David. Okay, yeah, I'll check it out. I'm watching videos while at the gym, and it's been helping me. Oh, thanks, Jack. Hope you're getting jacked. Good to have you here. Yeah, thanks for watching. If you haven't already, check out the podcast too. We have our podcast now on Spotify, open for everybody. So check it out. Let me know what you think. Since the downturn, we haven't broken the 1 hour 100 EMA without testing the 200. No, late July, early August. Do I have another channel for workout stuff? I don't. We do have a fitness channel in the Discord that we kind of talk about fitness and stuff, but I don't have anything official. I could do it. It was once programming is once a big passion of mine. I still do my own programming, but not for anybody else. So we're still hovering right here, pinned to R5. XLF is screaming, straight up. What are your thoughts on July 29th Amazon calls ahead of Prime Day? That is a good point. That's a good point. Prime Day for Amazon is, July 29th, 12th, and 13th. Usually that's more reflected in the earnings report for that quarter. But it's not a bad idea, especially if this data comes out a little bullish. What I'm really looking forward to is the July CPI. July CPI could be very, very telling to how we're going to proceed in the market. How do I improve my bench? It's very weak compared to my squat. You have to do one, obviously you got to bench press. Two, I think a lot of people, one of the problems they make is that they flare their elbows out too wide and they lose their power position with the bench press. It's too much shoulder heavy and not enough chest heavy. Three, you got to get your triceps stronger. Triceps are a huge part. In fact, if you want to have a bigger arm in general, triceps. So you need strong triceps, and then all the ancillary movements. You need to be able to do all the ancillary movements. Do a lot of push-ups. You need to do some flies. All the ancillary secondary movements. A rotator cuff. When I do bench press, my grip is tighter than a lot of people. I don't do the wide grip stuff, and I keep my elbows very tight. So it's kind of like how I do push-ups. And my bench press went way up when I was able to have that power. It's all about the tries, baby. All right, 38.82 here, and yes, we're still chopping, no positions right now. I'm keeping a close eye on this Apple, but we'll see. Currently no positions. Yep, I am planning an SPX put. It all depends on where we're going to fizzle out here on this week, today, or Monday. 39.50. I will start taking a position. 4,000, I'll probably take the larger position, if not already. Name of this podcast on Spotify, Making Millionaires. Making Millionaires. Just posted a new episode 2 days ago. Here, I'll give you the link to it right there. Yeah, if you have Spotify, come check us out. Just put the link in the chat window there of the YouTube. So it's a newer podcast. We started it, about 6 months ago, give or take? Going to short MES at 38.80. Nice. Coming back up to the day's highs. Amazon's getting a good bounce. XLF is still screaming. If we can get tech back on board here, we'll go very much higher. But there's a lot of heaviness in tech at the moment. No. Currently not, Neo. Currently not. Oh, thanks, Maya. Thanks for hanging out and subscribing. Yeah, I mean, I know everyone wants to play the puts here to the downside, but things are still being eaten up. We're still bouncing off the 21. Things are still looking up at the moment. So we're at R6. R6 is 387.06. We're just under that. I'll give this, we've got UK close coming up in 30 minutes, which could bring some downside. It could bring some volatility to the downside, which happened yesterday. It happens often. So be ready. They just put on 115 on Amazon. They just have 142, and they've got here on ES 3900, 3980, 3890, 3895. Why the 21 rather than the 20? I've always used the 21. Obviously, they're exactly the same. If you were to plot the 20 and the 21, it would be virtually identical. It's only one observation off, but I've always used the 21. The 821 is a great setup in terms of monitoring price action on a trend day. And that's how I use my EMAs. I use them to monitor price action. Instead of just having a blank screen that's got open space, the EMAs give you a kind of a point in the sand, a line in the sand where I can monitor the price action. Do I have a video explaining what's on the left side of my screen? Yes and no. I've got that last video I posted, the $50,000 video YouTube video. I implement how I use Bookmap. So that's kind of like a setup into that. Do I use VWAP? Yes, I do. In fact, if you look on the YouTube there, the dotted green line, that is VWAP. The dark green solid line, that is a 50 simple moving average. So the longer stuff I use simple moving average, the shorter stuff I use exponential moving average. Can you explain what an iron condor is? Yes, I can. An iron condor is a call credit spread and a put credit spread written together, sold together. You can leg into it. You could sell the call credit spread, and then you could go back later and do the put credit spread and leg into it, or you could do it all at once. So, and if just in case you don't know what a credit spread is, a call credit spread is when you sell a call and you buy a call at the exact same time. The sold call is closer to the money. The bought call, the long call, is further from the money, and the put's the other way around. The sold put is closer to the money, and the long put is further from the money. And it gives you a net credit. It's basically a short strangle with a long leg attached to it. And we're just kind of hanging out here. What's a green shaded area on my chart? That is the I usually don't pay attention to that. I just forgot to turn that off. The person that made this indicator put a shaded area between the 21 and the 8. So when what that implies is that when the 8 crosses up through the 21 and is now over the 21, it's green shaded. If that were to cross back down the 21 through the 8 through the 21, that shading would turn to red. I believe the best way for retail to make money is by selling premium. I think a good way is to combine the two. Selling premium is a great way to generate small returns over a consistent amount of period, as long as the conditions are right. The two pitfalls that people do with credit spreads is that, one, they try to make credit spreads their main way to make money, and they try to make a lot of money, and they end up getting destroyed because that's not what it is for. Two, they get enticed by playing a high VIX environment by fat premiums, and they start taking stuff a little too close to the money because they really want that credit, and they get destroyed. They get breached on a run, and they get absolutely destroyed. So credit spreads are a fantastic way to make consistent money when the conditions call for it, but the potential to be blown out, the losses are catastrophic if you don't know what you're doing. So I remember you had the yellow dots for the morning range. Why don't you use that anymore? That is not my system. So the person that owned that indicator left, so I no longer use that. I will say though, he had his time frame that were specific to a morning time, but there are several people out there that use a morning range. They're within, some do 9:55, some do 10:30, some do 10 o'clock. He chose 10:05. There are a whole bunch of people that use that. So you have to find one that works for you and do your research on it. Honestly, it's hit or miss. Some people do 10 o'clock. Sometimes it bounces at 10, sometimes it bounces at 9:55, sometimes it bounces at 10:05, sometimes it bounces at 10:10. So do your research and figure out which range time frames work for you. So he doesn't own the range, he owns the time. That's his system, is the time. So find a time that works for you. There you go. Is Cody still around? Yeah. He doesn't post live anymore which I completely get. Because the market conditions, he was a theta trader. Like, he posted credit spreads, and back in, I think March is when he decided to stop doing that. it got too crazy. Like the credits got way too crazy, and he decided that it was too risky to do that, and rightfully so. But he's still here, I think. Yeah, he popped his head in a couple of days ago. Do you use RSI? I don't. Not anymore. I used to use it for my longer term stuff. I find myself paying less and less attention to it. So it's RSI is like one of those, like it's a good way to pat yourself on the back when you're right and to disregard it when you're wrong. All right, back up to the day's highs here on ES. Nice move here on XLF. We're eating up that 38.89 level. So far, and just like that, those 39.10 call credit spreads don't look so good. They're only 20 points out. About to put a new high for the day, just like that. Everything's still looking bullish. I'm telling y'all, when I am bullish on the day, then that means something. Y'all know me. Just ate up 38.89. R6 is, did I not post it? Yeah, 387.06. I posted it in that market now. So we're right up against it right now. 387.06 is R6. And we're now, what, 387.09? Is there a way to good faith violation on E-Trade because I use most of my cash buying power and want to do a strangle part of the close? I do not care about GFEs. I'll tell you. I don't care. If I have to execute a position, I will do it. That's not financial advice. I'm securing my profits before worrying about that. What are your thoughts on buying long butterflies outside the money during 0 DTE, final hour AF earning because they are inverse to reward? It's not a strategy that I implement, but yeah, go for it. I take GFE every time. There you go. That's actually the best financial advice. This market has nearly forget about how to be bullish, waiting for the next short. Yeah, if I had to use RSI, it would only be on long-term stuff. That's it. I quickly found out that the day trading stuff, it was fantastic on showing you what happened like 20 minutes ago, along with MACD and stuff like that. All that stuff is past looking. Past looking. Yeah, CCI. That one's better. If I had to use one, I would use that one. So. We got 23 minutes until London closes. Not to mention, RSI, those type of indicators, they don't really work in a bear market. In bull markets, they work fantastic because it's very easy to identify in a bull market when you're oversold, even without the RSI. You can use this 50 simple moving average, and you could develop a pattern because in a bull market, there's nice patterns. In a bear market, there are not really nice patterns because you get substantial sell-off, face-ripping rally, chop, sell-off, face-ripping rally over and over again. And the oversold, overbought indicators on RSI and that type of stuff do not work in a bear market. And we are very much in a bear market for now, at least for now. I have an issue with using too many tools and indicators. I love the data, but it gets to be too much information. Yeah, well, I'll tell you, the longer you do this, the less indicators you'll use. And I've gotten a lot of heat from that. Like we had a couple of strong traders in the channel, last year that were heavily dependent on EMAs and indicators and technical analysis. And it's like the longer you do this, the more you realize that all that stuff is noise. It's distracting. It works when it works, and it gets you in trouble when it doesn't. So all you need is a couple of good supply and resistance zones and price action. And then everything else, as long as you're mature enough to know that to use that for what it's worth, that's all you need. My levels, SR levels, are heavily dependent on price action And they are pretty much supply and demand zones in and of themselves because of what I use to calculate them. Do I still use Squeeze Momo? I switched to TTM Squeeze, and I only use it on long-term stuff. But even then, is what it is. And if you, like I said, I'm not necessarily hating on technical indicators, but my pet peeve is when somebody asks somebody else, or you see someone explain their system, and all it is listing off a number of technical indicators. Now, your system has to be more robust than technical indicators. Otherwise, you're never necessarily going to be a profitable trader long term. And the problem happened is that the 2020 and 21 were so easy to trade. All people were doing was buying EMA bounces. And it worked out because we were straight up for 2 years. So now everyone thinks that still continue to work, and it's just not going to work. You have to be a little more diligent. You have to be able to read the tape. You have to be able to look at the level 2 data, options chain, all the other data points that are based on volume, liquidity, and price action. The actual market itself. That's the only way you're going to be able to weed out and make a general prediction of where things are going to go. A lot, Aztec. Yeah. That one's going to be, I think that I'm going to talk a little more about that in the Tier 2 call this weekend. Let's kind of give it a little more in-depth about it. And then what I actually want to do is kind of do it live too. We'll do it live next week one day. We'll sign on early and do all that stuff. All right, so another drop here off of 38.90, which is a large liquidity level that was just eaten up. They just put on 38.80. This is a nice little red candle. So that's a red across the board. Basically now, XLF is like single-handedly holding this thing up. It's beast mode. Everything else is kind of doing the same thing. Everything else is mimicking this price action. Kind of pop, flat, little red. XLF is just, see ya. I'll see you on the moon. We'll do it live is how you should start every broadcast. I love it. I did, yeah, I did. Yeah, definitely, Thanos. Definitely. It is not. It's nothing groundbreaking. Like there's not a secret sauce to it. It's just a lot of data. I bring in so much different data points to calculate these levels, and that's why they're accurate day in and day out for the past couple of years. Because it's based strictly on data that's in the market, and bear markets, bull markets doesn't matter because it's based on data. Is Bookmap standalone? Yes, it's a desktop app, a downloaded software. Do I scalp without telling us for a few dollars? I mean, I do scalp throughout the day. I'll kind of tell y'all when I'm scalping and when I'm not. But I can't post scalp entries live. It's just, a scalp is literally a scalp. I'm in it for a couple of seconds. I tried posting scalps back in the fall. It didn't work out well. Question: is it a bad habit? Sorry, we've been watching reruns of The Office. Is it a bad habit to take really tiny scalps and eat commission? I'm finding that I'm good. I have a controversial view on commissions and the fact that I don't care about commissions. As long as I'm doing my due diligence and I'm making them profitable, I don't care. I don't track commissions. I don't care about them. So they're part of it. It's the cost of doing business. I can do that. I just don't want people following them. That's the thing. They're dangerous. I know exactly when I'm entering and exiting, so they're dangerous. But yeah. No, it's just the fact that commissions are not going to deter me from trading. I'm not going to sit here and look at this trade like, well, I can't take this trade because it's going to cost me $1.80 on commissions. All I can do is mitigate as much as I can. When I'm trading SPX, it's 50 cents a contract. So normally I'm trading anywhere between 2 contracts and 30 contracts on SPX. Even 30 contracts is $15. So am I going to let a $15 commission keep me from trying to make a trade that's going to net me, I don't know, a couple $1,000? So now it does suck when you take 30 trades in a day and you happen to lose all of them. Yeah, then it definitely sucks. But yeah. Will I do a CPS strangle before CPI? Absolutely, I will. 100%. I don't care what happened last week or 2 weeks ago. Yep. We have UK closing in 15 minutes. Yep, we got 38.80, and I'll post this little screenshot here. No. I've made so much more than I paid in commissions. Yeah. Oh, man, yeah. Nice, patient purple. For sure. Coming up on 11:15. I'll retire in 2027. I want to start with a small account options trading. What brokers do you recommend? It depends what kind of trading you're doing. E-Trade is a fantastic basic system for just doing like long-term trades, long options. You can even do some credit spreads, but when you start mixing together E-Trade, meh. If you want something more advanced, IBKR. But IBKR does take some getting used to. All right, red candles here. Caution Roni. Is it time for long-dated puts? Not yet. Not yet. Remember what happened yesterday? We were bullish. Yeah, Apple's fallen down big time, under 140 now. We were bullish. UK closed. We sold off like 50 points, and then we reversed and we raged 60 points. Oh my gosh. Y'all killing me. What happened, Trader Jay? I know you were talking a lot about puts. What happened? Talk to me. Ooh, pav bhaji. I want to make me some pav bhaji. I will never ever take a trade on Neo ever again. Never. I don't care what the setup is. Y'all people in your Neo. I took a small earnings play on Neo, and I took a put and it went up, and then which was fine, whatever. And then every day for like 2 weeks, are you still in Neo? Are you still in Neo? Are you still in Neo? I had to ban that person because of it. It's like, come on, get away. I'm gonna make a shirt that says, "Are you still in Neo?" Hopefully, none of your spouses are named Neo though. That was bad. I'm sorry. I didn't say that. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Y'all are crazy. Is Bookmap worth the lifetime subscription? It's a fantastic investment. I think if there were to be a tool that you are going to use, it would be Bookmap. Yes, the level 2s are recorded. Yes. In fact, right now they're only hosted on the Google Drive, but we are going to put them on a locked web page in the website, so you can all look at them on the website instead of having to approve your Google access every time, which is quite cumbersome. Oh, nice, PJ. I appreciate that. Appreciate the support. Y'all are awesome, man. Y'all are awesome. Yep, I do lifetime memberships. We offer that. I wasn't going to, but man, a ton of people asked for lifetime memberships. So I was like, all right, well, we'll do one. And a lot of people signed up for it. It's on the website. That always reminds me of the scene in Friends. Man, everything. Tech is dumping, man. Apple is about to give back all its morning gains. Yes, it is. I think you can opt out of that, but yeah, it is. Do the hedge funds use Bookmap? I'm sure they use their own version of Bookmap. They've got a Bloomberg terminal. Like they don't need Bookmap. They've got all the level 2 data they need. Plus they've got all their algorithms and their fancy computers and their quants. What happens to lifetime if OM retires? As long as y'all want me here, I'm not going anywhere. I enjoy this too much. So Lee Rat takes over, yeah. I guess the only big thing would be if I die, but then you have to put up with Mrs. OM. Yeah, I'll try not to. That's always the goal, right? Wake up, try to stay alive. I promise. I majored in math and computer science. I need a PhD to compete with those quants. Oh man. Yeah, those dudes they're super smart dudes. Yeah, 520 people watching. Hit that like button for me. Get that channel out there. Get some people watching. Learn how to do this the responsible way. Not the best way, I would say, but a responsible way. All right, so my bullish thesis is starting to break down at the moment. We are holding 38.81, but I'm seeing a lot of weakness here. The only thing I think holding up the S&P from dropping back down to 38.60 is probably the XLF. If that downturns, I think we'll have our flush TLT. TLT's bouncing up just a touch here. The 10-year yields are back up over 3.1. I'm just trying to do some analysis. It's been a very aggravating week. And it comes and goes. We can't, like the first, that week in June, we were killing it. We had a couple of weeks in May, we killed it. A couple of weeks in June, we killed it. This week has been aggravating to trade. So I am definitely looking forward to the next break in action, whether it be up or down. So. Even Evian, I don't want to take too much of a preemptive trade for that. I'll put on something if it comes along. Ever look into agriculture futures seasonal crush spread? I haven't. Which I'd be open. That's actually something I would like to look more into. Is more of the agricultural / consumer futures, the commodity futures. I think that would probably be something, if I ever were to kind of break into a new style of trading, it would be commodity futures, agriculture futures. Because you could start to really play a lot of geopolitical events a little bit more with fine-tuned accuracy and play like weather events, stuff like that. Which intrigues me. I like to dig down into the data, and that kind of stuff intrigues me. Especially when like agriculture contracts expire for the next year and they adjust with their futures. Do I have Apple? I've got Apple in my long-term account, but currently I have no positions. I do have a Waterloo that I'm drinking. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate the comment. Yeah, comment. It'll get the algos going. Don't want to be political, but the news on Biden's behavioral cheat sheet is very concerning. Yeah. The whole political system is becoming a giant dumpster fire anyway. Watch out. Yeah. I mean, I'm bookmapping long on Apple. Does the free version of Bookmap have only crypto? They do. Bookmap just created some stuff for Apple for crypto, but it's not only. I don't know what the free version offers. Right now, I'm drinking Waterloo because it was BOGO. Next week it could be bubbly. It could be LaCroix. Depends what's on sale. Every week they've got a BOGO at Publix. So. Ask me about my wheat strangle and futures options when Russia finally invaded. You learn real quick that Ukraine and Russia are major wheat producers. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I've got the affiliate link for Bookmap in the description of the video, so click on that. It'll get you some money off if you want to try Bookmap. But man, it's a game changer for me. Love it. See, another bullish bouncer. So the big thing I'm changing for, I'm making more pizza tonight because obviously I want to try out this. The big thing I'm changing is I'm going to Publix and I'm buying buffalo mozzarella. So I'm going authentic tonight. Do you see the market going up into next week? It depends on how we close today. If we close up today, I would say possibly. But then again, we're having a bunch of oscillations and rejections. So who knows? I'm trying not to make predictions for next week. I want to go into Sunday night with a clean slate and play the futures. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the tier 2 call at 5 o'clock Eastern. That way it ends at 6 o'clock. And then we'll switch over to the voice channel on Discord and we'll do some pre-analysis for the week and then we'll do some future trading on tier 2. So that's how I'm going to plan Sunday night. I'll have to try it out. I love me some Tillamook ice cream, so I'll try out some mozzarella. It's not a bad idea, kidder. I like it. I haven't, Mike Walker. I haven't used that one. You own 500 head of cattle. Oof. So what do you think about those 10,000 cattle that died out west from heat exhaustion? Actually, no, it's not. We don't have to go there. We don't have to get out our tin hats. Shouldn't have asked. 50 miles from your home. Wow. How do you connect your Tier 1 account to the paid Discord server? Make sure... Yeah, if you go to the website, go to the top right. There's a login button. Click on the login, link your Discord account, make sure ensure that you're using the same email that you use for your Discord account because they won't match up. And then you'll be able to go link to the Discord. Yeah, I'm pretty much with you, Larry, except my target's a little higher than yours. My target's a touch higher, but yes, if we close up here and we don't have a major sell-off, I do think next week could at least have the first couple of days as bullish, a bullish open on Monday. Yep, we got 2 minutes till UK. Not yet. I'm not looking at long dated yet. I don't want to buy puts if this is a bullish rally just starting. because that's a good way to get smoked immediately. So I feel you, Adam. I'm definitely happy they weren't yours either. I hope not. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. I know that's your life, your livelihood. I don't, CJ. I don't have a discount code right now. I mean, I think this community is one of the cheaper communities around. I think it's one of the cheaper ones priced around. So I don't offer a discount code. All right, so we got a little bullish bounce to the top here. Yeah, no worries. Appreciate you joining though. Come hang out. No, good ask. I ask too. I do it too. Everywhere I go, I ask for a discount, except mom and pops. I don't ask for discounts in mom and pops. I only do it at big chain stores. My military discount, I ask for a military discount everywhere, except for mom and pops. I'm all about supporting small business. Do I think a straddle over the weekend will be smart? I'm not going to take one. I'm not saying it's a bad play. I'm not going to take one. Yeah, yeah. Hey, my name is Gabriel. Is your name Gabriel? What's up? Welcome, welcome. A BOGO hot dog? Ooh. Hey, if they've got one, I will do it. I will do it. So I want to come over here and look at the globe. What are they doing? UK is very bullish at the moment. The Asian market spiked. German markets are spiked here too. 2.8 on UK. And then 1.1 on the German markets. So far, we're still holding bullish, Mitchell. I'm still bullish until we break below here, maybe 38.76. Best pizza I ever tried was a lasagna pizza. Interesting. Oh, sweet. That was quick. You joined quick. That was like 30 seconds ago. Welcome, welcome, Gabriel. Love it. Uh-oh. If you want to DM me, you can. Let's figure it out. Let me know what happened. White sauce and ricotta. Man, I love that. That sounds good. And XLF is absolutely screaming. 3.4% on XLF. Yeah, that's the only thing that's absolutely just raging at the moment. Oh, geez. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of bad eggs out there, JCA. So still pinging up against 38.86 on ES, right up above R5 on SPY. Again, rejecting R6. In fact, I need to put R6 in there, which is 387.06. So bear with me. R6. There we go. And that is significant. So I do need to identify that as significant right there. Good. And we'll keep bouncing right off of it. Will I enter a put if I have to? Yeah, absolutely. When? Oh, so when? If I see a breakdown here, I'll kind of know it when I see it. I know that's pretty. That's not very helpful to you at the moment, but Microsoft is breaking down right here. Why do I have Microsoft twice? This needs to be Amazon. Amazon's breaking down. Microsoft is coming off. Apple's still falling. NASDAQ looks like it wants to kind of come in lower here. I'm watching XLF like a hawk at the moment. If that downturns, we'll have our flush bound. Probably a 20-point flush at least. Not to mention now, UK is closed. So. I am looking at 38.80 puts for the moment, just in case we break lower, because I'm seeing a little bit of red here. No entry. I've just got the order form up. This seems a little life-changing for me. SPX 0DT credit spreads getting $3 to $2, 3.6 credit per. 15-point wide seems to be making. You're talking about debit spreads? No, you're talking about credits. Usually a credit spread getting 3.2. If you're getting 3.2, if you're getting $3.50 for a credit spread, you're gonna be playing pretty close to the money. 20 points outside the money. That's close. You got to be careful with that, Vernon. You got to be very careful with that. Playing a 20 wide call credit spread, you're playing close to the fire. You're sitting really close to the fire. And sitting close to the fire feels good when it's winter outside and it's 20 degrees. But if all of a sudden it flips to summertime, that fire is going to be really hot. I just made that metaphor up on the fly. I'm pretty happy with that one. Do I think the price ladder on Webull for entries and exits is a good idea? I haven't seen it. I don't use Webull. I'm curious what that is, though. No. I've already done my price raise to $25 because I knew that it was egregiously underpriced, and I do want to make sure that I'm taking care of me. But yeah, I'm not raising prices again. At least not for a long time. $25 I think is a good win-win for everybody. Oof. W dog. Yes, Tate. They are. No, I feel you. I love it. Yes, absolutely, gluten. Absolutely. But again, I don't see that happening for at least a long time. So. Do I discuss the ins and outs on your paid site? Yes. So anything other than a scalp, I'm showing you all the trade. Most of the time, live as it's happening. The only thing I don't show live is pretty much the scalps, the stuff that I can't really show live because it would be irresponsible for me to do so. And XLF is like turning up and rocketing. Nah, I'm not getting the short of the stick. This is I enjoy doing this. I enjoy doing this. I'm not here to make money off y'all. I'm here to, pay for my time, market value. I'm a businessman, so I'm not going to do this for free. Plus, I tried to do this for free, and it was an absolute dumpster fire. The best decision I ever made was to charge a fee for this because we tried to do this for free. And I know it's like, hey, why are you going to do this for free if you're such a good trader? Well, one, I use, the Joker's theory. If you're good at something, never do it for free. Two, I tried doing it for free. And I was literally like, I am not doing this. I will rather shut this down than continue to do what we were doing. So, best decision I ever made. Anyway, XLF is absolutely screaming. 38.88 here on ES. And then, so 38.95. Do I dare try a call here? I would open up a call order form and see if we break. But right now we're just chopping. In fact, this does start to have a upward ascending wedge look to it. So we'll see. Actually, this is a sideways, like just a pennant at the moment. But oh man, you got 1,000% calls on XLF. Well done. Well done. Why did you choose Apple today for the scalp? It was the relative underperformer. Yes. Yes. So I was looking at all of tech, and everything was up very aggressively. Apple was lagging. So I chose Apple to come along with it. And it wasn't that Apple was underperforming in terms of it was selling off. It just Apple wasn't quite as bullish as everything else. So I thought, hey, I could get a couple of jumps. The premiums were very cheap. So I decided to do that. I'm not really looking at it anymore, though, because it sold off under 139. Now it's not only is it not performing, now it is underperforming, which is something I don't really want to take a look at the moment. Major Tom, I have to admit, I was in the first week. Oh, nice. Well, thanks, Major Tom. I appreciate that. Appreciate the honesty. So we're pinging up against R6 here again, trying to figure out where we're going to go. XLF is straight up. The bonds, 112. Wow. So XLF is now 32.3. I'm looking at June 24th calls on XLF. $32 calls are 34 cents. $32.5 calls are 3 cents. That is 1,000% gain if those were go up to the 34 cents. On pennies. But it still has to go up another 20 cents. But 0.5 on XLF is a big move. That's a long way for them to go. TLT is starting to bounce up here. Yeah, definitely, Sam. I agree. I appreciate that, McCollum. Am I still looking for the big move, or do you think it's already happened? Well, I think this is the big move. We're up 100 points from pre-market lows, so I think that is the big move. I did not expect it to be up, I will say. However, I still took a strangle. I don't even want to look at what those freaking premiums are now. And the thing I want to show you all, is to be patient. Be patient when the market is choppy this week, and then really let it loose when things let loose. That's why 2 weeks in May we killed it. First couple of days and weeks in June we killed it. This week I haven't really posted all that much. We're just kind of waiting. A lot of patience, a lot of waiting, a lot of scalps here and there. And then we go. All right, bumping up against this pennant here. And I think we all know that this thing is forming at the moment. Just kind of hanging out. Down 66% instantly. What'd you buy? Oh, I see what you're saying. Yep, what is a scalp? What Drew just said. Very quick in and out. I am looking at 38.80 puts, but no position. What does the book map say? They are starting to build a level at 38.73. Everything else is above us. 38.95 is primarily the biggest level. And here's what I got here. Yeah, it could be a bull flag for sure. It's slightly uptrending here. Depends how aggressively you want to plot the tops. That's kind of like how you're splitting hairs at the moment. I don't want to get into that. But yeah, I'm going to mute for a second. I'll be right back. All right, so book map. All right, so book map. So book map provides a way for us to visualize liquidity in the market. Some people say it's level 2 data visualized. That's a good representation. That's fine. So what I'm looking at here is where the market wants to put on these levels. Because the way I think about it is that if large money is going to put on their positions, they want those positions to be transacted because those are open orders. So when you place an order, your objective is to have that transacted. So that's why they kind of work as magnets. If you've got a large level put on that's other than like a weekly level, you're going to see the market bid up to those levels because they want to transact it. They're going to manipulate the market. You can especially see this in extended hours trading. When you've got when there's lower volume, the algorithms control the evening, so they'll put on their trade and they'll program transactions to bid the market up to that large level. So they'll put maybe like $100 million order, let's say at 38.50. Let's say 3,900 because we're below that. Let's say they put an order at 3,900. Well, they'll program several other additional transactions to bid the market up to 3,900 so they can transact 3,900. And that's how they move the market. So when big money, we're talking big money, more zeros than we can comprehend. So that's why you can kind of look at these levels as magnets, because the larger levels that are not necessarily weekly are the stuff you can anticipate the market going towards. Does it always work perfectly? No, nothing does. But man, on a trend day, it's allowed me to capture some pretty phenomenal gains. Oh, thanks, Drew. With puts, are you buying or selling? Yes, correct. Right now I'm buying. I'm buying. Nice, Joel. Yeah, it's up a lot. No, I want you to do your due diligence. I want you to, ask questions. Maybe some people my server is not for some people. Some people want to take a little more risk. I get it. So some people want to do other stuff. I get it completely. But yeah, I keep things very simple. Is it legal to bid the market up by submitting then pulling orders? It depends who you ask. What is legal in Wall Street? Do I think XLF has room to run up today? That's one of the stronger moves I've seen in XLF. It's almost up 4%. I don't know. I'm going to take a look at their book map, though. So let's take a look. Yeah, VIX just dropped considerably, 27.5. Do I stream Bookmap daily in Discord? Yes, now I do. Now that I've got this new computer set up, I'm able to do so every day now. So at least the morning session. With those levels of Bookmap are strong levels, they have been usually a stronger magnet than levels that are being put on the current day. The weekly stuff I don't necessarily treat as magnets unless we start getting up next to it. The stuff that's put on the daily is the stuff that I really want to look at. The stuff that's on there all week, I don't necessarily look at that. Unless it's like outrageous, unless it's egregious. It looks like it. Yeah, Nancy, definitely. Yeah, I'm gonna let it load the data and then I'll post it. I just added it. So let's see, XLF. I'm gonna load the historical data. So we'll see. Tier 2 goes a little further in depth, and I'm continuing to add more value because I want to make sure Tier 2 are getting their what they paid for and getting the best bang for their buck. But yes. All right, big green here. With the VIX dropping, VIX is dropping aggressively. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. I like that. So let me take a look here. I'm going to go and I'm going to look at SPX. VIX is dropping very aggressively. Anything I play is probably going to be at the money here. So Apple's turning up. All of other tech is turning up. XLF is still going up. We'll see what we got. Breaking it up through R6. If we take out R6, looking at the book map, XLF doesn't really have much else. They've got a larger level at 3250, but not much else. So looking at ES, we got to get to 3895. You've held these calls for almost 2 hours, it feels like, waiting for the move. So that's a rejection again off R6. We're just kind of pinging off of it. Just be careful. Don't front run it. Don't front run it. I've been throwing in some more stuff other than SPY lately. The past couple of weeks, we've done other stuff. But my main bread and butter is definitely the S&P. Don't front run it. What does that mean? Like putting on a play before you know it's coming. So, like buy in a call here because you think it's going to go up. It could, but at the moment, like we just try to have a breakout there. I've rejected again. This is the 1, 2, 3, 4th time we've rejected this 38.90 level, which is R6, which you see R6 there. Now looking at the book map there, we did absorb that 38.90. If we go up above, I'm looking for the 95. If we go above that, 3,900 comes into play. But the price action is consolidating. It's tightening. Volume is dropping off here. We didn't get really any move on UK closing. So that was a non-event today. So 38.90 is gone. They transacted that, and they immediately followed up with a red candle, which is about a 3.4 point drop here. But more of the same. More of the same. It's quiet. A little too quiet. But this market has been chopping people up left and right the past 3 days. This entire week. I've gotten a lot of frustrated DMs because people are getting chopped up left and right. Because of this crap right here. We'll have a very aggressive move. It'll start chopping. People continue to play it. They get chopped up. Reversals. It's difficult. Premiums got crushed. Yeah. Premiums absolutely. Yesterday, premiums got smoked. So, which is one of the reasons I took the strangle. Because premiums had dropped so much. Yeah, and that's not coincidence. Like, you're not alone. If you're getting chopped up this week, it's because the market is choppy. This is a difficult environment to trade in, so it's not just you. My advice to you, play small, set stops, don't trade. I feel you, TK. I feel you. We're still holding the ADMA here. I'm just looking for a move. We're kind of in no man's land on Bookmap. There's not really any liquidity anywhere. They got a little bit at 38.77 and then 38.95. Substantial level at 38.95. What do I think of VIX calls next week? It depends how far we drop today. If we get some sort of afternoon rally, like one of those crazy last 60-point rallies, and VIX drops to 25, may not be a bad idea. If VIX gets down to 23, whether it be Monday or today or whenever, if VIX gets down to 23 today, then we're going to absolutely scream. But whenever VIX does get down to 23, I'll probably look at some calls. Another rejection of 38.90 coming on down. $2022 has been incredibly difficult to trade, but it's been incredibly profitable for me, and hopefully for you all as well. The larger moves, the incredible volatility, as long as you're patient, can provide some substantial. I'm not talking about today. I'm talking about the entire year. Substantial opportunity. I haven't heard about that guy in forever. Yeah, he had to leave. Man, that was like November, October. Yep, we're wedging. Still grinding up here against 38.90. Is it smart to buy a put right outside the wedge? If we fall, yes. If we fall through that wedge, I would look at playing some puts at the breakdown. Apple's starting a little turn up here. Amazon just put in a new micro high. XLF is finally selling back off. But I don't know. My gut tells me we're going to go higher here, but that doesn't really mean much. Put my gut in one hand and $5 in the other and tell me how fast you get to $5 or something like that. I don't know. I completely made that up. Well, still, don't make a trade based on my gut. You eat pizza based on my gut. All right, so we are getting a little bit of green here, 38.92, and holy smokeroni, it popped. $38.92, gumming up a little bit. 38.80 calls are now in the money heavily. Is swinging a contract over the weekend a bad idea since multiple days of theta eat away at it and hit it as soon as the market? Yeah, I would not do it. I wouldn't do it. If we were in a trend and we had a good indication, maybe, but right now, no. Yeah, I wouldn't do it. What's the gut say now? Well, we're getting an immediate rejection, which that can quickly turn into a stop loss candle. But we'll see. I'm watching all the underlyings here. Things are temporarily turning up, getting turnt, as the young kids call it. 38.95. I don't think we're going to go all that much higher than 3900. If we do, we will squeeze. This is what the book map's looking like. We do have some at 39.20, but man, that 3900 level is a beast. VIX is absolutely falling off a cliff here. So if this bounces and goes, this could be the start of a squeeze. So, yes, Lurking Larry. What's the gut say now? I need quick confirmation. It depends on this candle. If this candle closes green and holds over this 38.90 level, I think we could start a squeeze. But I would not consider shorting. This is a trend up day. A short is a counter trend trade. The time could come where that happens and we could reverse here and fall, but right now probabilities are telling me upside. So if you play a put or a short, you're playing counter trend right now. Which if you do play that play, you need to take profits quick. Counter trend trades are quick movements. first 100%, 400% gain on a strangle. Nice, Drew. I wish I would have held it. Wish I would have held it. Yeah, so the call premiums that I closed at $25.30 are now $68. I'm such a jabroni. I don't deserve to make a pizza. So we had one green pop, and it's immediately being sold off. So, yeah, we'll see. I did make money. Not much, but I made money. So there's a crap ton of liquidity at $38.95. $38.95. If we break that level, I think it'll induce us into a squeeze level. And one, I think somebody else posted this earlier today, is that there's a phenomenal amount of squeeze interest in SPY. In fact, I think they said there were no available shares to short. In fact, what happens right now? Does it give you a hard to borrow on SPY? I'm going to see if I can short a share of SPY. Hold on. SPY. Trade. Short. Oh, it doesn't give you a hard to borrow. Notification. Yeah, short interest. No, I said that. Yeah. What does $38.95 mean? Is that a price? That is open interest, or not open interest, but those are open orders. Liquidity at $38.95. We don't know what they are, but we know they're at $38.95. The 3,900 levels I'm not necessarily looking at because that's a weekly level. The $38.95 has been put on today. That's the one I'm paying attention to. Y'all got to stop worrying about the sell-off until it comes. Like, this is a trend update. We rarely get these. Play it. And then if we sell off, then play the downside. Stop playing counter trend. Y'all are like jumping in the river and you're turning upstream, throwing your paddle away, and you're trying to swim up. Like, why am I not moving anywhere? Well, you're swimming upstream, jabroni. Just be patient. Unfortunately, I do not want to see the evidence of that, D-Bane. But how would the 38.95 transfer over to SPY when we're significant to the number? Well, SPY is going to track ES. ES is the S&P future, so SPY is going to track ES. So you can do the calculation over, which puts it approximately R7. Which, if I were to calculate one, I haven't calculated an R7, but yeah. But the way the price action is acting here, this looks like we're squeezing higher. When you don't want to touch even the 21 EMA, when all the reds are bought up, when we're squeezing higher and higher and higher, eventually it's going to blow up. Now, the bearish, there's two ways to look at this different type of price action. One, if you have, let me see if here, I can't show this to y'all. All right, so I'm going to take a screenshot here. Bear with me. So this is what I was looking for, and I just posted a screenshot of it. The green circles there, that is normal price action. If that type of price action continued, I would look for a rejection to the downside because the sellers keep coming in, aggressively selling it off. If the bulls can't bring it higher, and then we kept having those sell-offs, that's what I'm looking to go lower. But you can see in the orange circle that stopped. We started grinding upwards on no sell-off. We never dropped below the 8. Every single red candle was immediately flipped to green. We're going higher and higher. This setup, grinding setup up against 38.95, looks like we are going to pop higher. It looks like it. I'm not saying we are, but it looks like we're going to, the price action to grind higher. This looks like an area where the sellers don't want to bring it lower, so the bulls are temporarily going to bring it up. We just put in a new high, so we went higher. So that's one indication. The price action is grinding up, and it looks like we're trying to figure out what we're going to do at 38.95. So that's why I'm not taking a put here. If we reject and come back down below, I would say 38.85, I would start looking for a failure, and then I would start playing downside action. Looking at everything else, though, XLF finally starting to dip a little bit. Amazon's still green. Microsoft is hanging out. Yeah. It is 11:11, 12:11 Eastern, so typical lunch action. Hey, if I order pizza from your uni and it's not here in 30 minutes, is it free? Love it. Love it. I don't have any brokers hooked up to Bookmap. I don't like to link my brokerage to anything. So it's just plain old Bookmap. Standalone. A volatility contraction pattern. I like it. Nicely done. Speaking of which, Alpha Warrior, I am going to take a little break here and go grab some lunch. I haven't had lunch since yesterday. So we got 38.90 right now. Looking at 38.95. XLF is starting to put a little more red in. Yeah, definitely. Menda stations. Still hanging out. Yeah, we're still hanging out right on top of the 8. Amazon is turning up here. So green on Amazon. but Apple's not moving. Microsoft's is not moving. XLF is dropping off. VIX is still 2732, but slightly green. Why do new traders, such as myself, always want to look for the counter trend? Because you play tricks on yourself. It can't go higher, it can't go lower. Hey, if I get it in cheap now, it'll have a huge payoff if it heads that way. The counter trend trades can be very, very profitable because you're playing counter trend. Like you're playing against the grain. The premiums you're looking for are cheap. But it's a bad habit to get into because you can start playing against the grain. You're going to take consistent losses. You're going to get the price action is going to continue against you. So it's so much easier to play with the trend. Plus you get in the situation where you take a put at the very top, it continues to go up, and you're like, man, just come on, it's just got to fall. Just come back a little bit. And then you start playing that emotional game, and you get that knot in your stomach, and you get all stressed out, and the price action just keeps on going. It like gives you the finger and just keeps on going, and your position gets more red and more red and more red, and you get more stressed, and your heart rate goes up. I'm telling you, man. And then your palms get all sweaty, and then there's vomit on your sweater already with mom's spaghetti. I mean, come on. You don't want to do that. M&OM. I like it. I like it. Hella crazy. So, yeah, stop playing against the trend, man. I've heard y'all talk so much today about shorts and puts and stuff, which if you scalped a few puts, you could have been profitable. But that's it. Get in and out. And I know that stuff because I've done it. That used to be me. Heck, I've done it a lot in the past year. Shit, I like it. I've had people DM me saying, why are you playing counter trend? Well, because I'm a pretty decent counter trend trader, but it does get me into trouble sometimes. All right, so that's 3 red candles in a row here on ES. It's very small red candles, but we are chopping right at 38.90. There's no liquidity on Bookmap anywhere except upwards. 38.95. What is your thoughts on playing reversals not on trend days? I mean, that's a range day. I mean, that's all there is to play on range days. The biggest counter trend trade that I would recommend is if you have like a huge sell-off and we start consolidating and then the internals start to turn, then I think it's a good idea to put on some risk to the upside. You play that call to the upside, the V recovery trade, which is it's a pretty profitable trade. Even on the 3-minute chart, this is nothing but wick. Are you doing Lee, right? You're crazy. Yeah, like yesterday. Yesterday was a beautiful play. I took a call at the very bottom of that afternoon sell-off, of the morning sell-off, I should say. Like literally, I bottom wicked that chart yesterday, and I closed it for I closed a scalp for like 15% profit, and that trade would have paid off 700% if I held it. I think there's a trend. All right, another green here. Can this hold? Yeah, y'all watch out. If we break up through 38.95, I think we'll go into squeeze mode. But we got to break up first. Little volatility coming into this candle. Uptick in buying volume. This candle starting to expand. I don't know. This is the strongest trend we've had in a while. So, very crazy price action, but still. All right. Big red candle. Dumped it. Low volume, though. That was low volume. Is that a stop loss or is this a reversal? All right, volatility is kicking in here. Wow, look at that. That was a dump. So they barely ticked that and then smashed it. Smashed it. Right back down to the trend line. 38.86. Watch this trend line. There's no liquidity here on Bookmap, so I don't know what they're going to do with this. So we're still straddling R6 at the moment. XLF is finally coming back off. So that volume built in quick. That was a decent volume candle. So with that red candle here, we're going to see what's going on. Is this a temporary like closeout position before we go higher? Or is this going to be reversal? Because that came right back on the trend. It's still bottom wicking here a little bit. It's tough. All right, y'all. Well, I'm going to call that a morning. I'm going to grab some lunch. We will sign it back up here for the afternoon. It'll be just Discord. And we will throw down some trades, hopefully. It is currently 12:30. We've got 2.5 hours left in the market. Or no, 3.5 hours left in the market, I'm sorry. And yeah, so y'all stay safe. Be smart, put on your stops, and wait for the proper setup. Y'all take it easy. I'm out.